who's well respected and makes more money or is successful, what are those differences versus those people that don't succeed? And this is not a motivational speech, oh, Tony Robbins, this kind of thing. This is practical, okay? Do you guys remember a few days ago, the Russians, their hackers were hacking on Facebook and they were able to influence this Donald Trump thing and say Hillary Clinton's crooked. So here's a big article, Daily Beast, it's also on Reuters and CNN, and they quoted me. And they quoted me multiple times. This whole article is basically an infomercial for DensView and Blitz Metrics. It's great, right? Because then, you know, fame begets other fame, right? So they quoted us here, and we calculated how the Russian hackers with $100,000 were able to reach almost 70 million people in the United States, right? Because they understood how the algorithm worked. And I want to tell you today how the algorithm works. I'm going to go behind the scenes and show you that the principles that you understand about influencing people, about saying thank you, about generating engagement, about caring for other people, which sounds like this highfalutin, let's all embrace one another, sing kumbaya, and play the guitar, is real, okay? And it works as simple as this. So you have this story, but where did this story come from? Well, there's other stories that are just like it. So I could go to a new tab, let's say Ad Week. Measuring, I'm right on Ad Week, by the way, and other places. Measuring social ROI, the tools are at your disposal, and here are, oh, the resolution's low. Here are all of these different, this is an article, but the images aren't loading properly, because the screen's not very good, but you can see there's tons and tons of tips here. And I was in a meeting a couple months ago with the head of strategy for MGM Resorts, which they own like half of Las Vegas. So like probably stayed in one of their hotels, right? And one of her people that reported to her and a consultant said, we were arguing over something random, like how often we should post, or what's our video strategy, or can you measure the ROI on social media? And one of these consultants said, well, yeah, well, according to AdWeek, they said that, you know, a share is worth 13 times more than a like, right? So, you know, shares worth more, and comments and videos, and all these things that the algorithm uses. And Beverly, who is the senior VP, she said, oh, you know, Dennis is the guy I should look at her, and here it is. So if you want to accept, if you want to have authority, you know when they hire consultants, usually the consultant is brought in to basically repeat the thing that the big boss wants, right? That's kind of how it works. You need authority for somebody to speak out. That's the whole McKinsey said that, and here's a whole like document, and therefore it's like safe to hire that man, it's totally safe now, right? If you can be that voice, I'm not saying you have to write for the New York Times and Wall Street Journal, but if you learn Inception, then no one's going to want to go against you. And after my first couple big mistakes at American Airlines, I learned this. Because I started a group, I hired it up, I was spending all the money, I was the controller, I was the project manager, I was the BA, I was the lead engineer, so I was all those different roles. I was the referee, and I was the player. So I really had no, the CFO really didn't care, because I just talk about technology, right? Say, oh, Dennis, well, looks like you want another $10 million to buy all these different servers. We really need all these different servers. I'm like, yeah, we do. And then I go into all this technical detail and I lose them in the weeds, right? Because I knew just enough. I read enough of the specs, spent enough time with Sun, Oracle. We had the first Sun E10000 machine. We had a 64-way by 64-way machine with a fiber backplane, which doesn't mean anything to anyone here, but back then that was a big deal because you had hot speeds that are changeable. You could reconfigure different web server, database servers on the fly, reconfigure memory without having to go down to the hospital. You guys don't care about that. That was a really big deal 20 years ago, right? So here's what I learned. The idea of metrics, analysis, and action works like this. Think about this and how you might apply this to your life. Metrics are, you prepare a report, and here's some numbers, and here's some stats, and some background stuff. And the analysis is, what does that mean? Well, it means that we should do this, this, and this. It means that we should go this way. It means that this other idea is a bad idea, right? And then the action is, therefore, we should go ahead and do it. So, if you want to incept the boss, if you don't have the authority to be able to pull the trigger and hire people and spend money and go a certain way, you ever run into that situation as a good VA, you're basically a politician, because there's different people with different point of views, and you have to try to get them to all sing kumbaya. All the people that work, I know it's hard for you to see, but take my word for it. All the people that work at USA Today and CNN and work at our sponsors, United Airlines, Uber, Jack in the Box. We're not the people who eat at Jack in the Box, the people that work at Jack in the Box. And so we're able to incept and micro target this kind of stuff for $1 a day. So I have this audience here. I want to generate media exposure. I want to generate influence because I want to get more coverage. Because good media coverage, good authority, begets other authority. And I'm going to put this for $1 a day for 7 days on the Warriors account. I need a little better resolution here, so I can click on the boost button. And then I just boosted this. All right? My friend Eric Ludwig was CMO at Rosetta Stone, the language company. And for his birthday, we created a Facebook post. And it was me saying, hey, Eric, happy birthday. 43, you're getting old, dude. You're about the same age now, right? And we targeted all the people that work at Rosetta Stone, right? And I launched it. A few hours later, we got a note from legal. We got a C&D that you need to stop this. This is using our trademark. It's infringement, this kind of thing. And you need to stop this. All the people that work in marketing at Rosetta Stone, we're seeing this, about 200 people. I spent 87 cents to just bombard these people, right? Same thing for, like, you have a bad stay at a hotel, or the airline screws you over, or you got a problem with Verizon, wherever that kind of thing is. It's super easy because you can come in here, and if I edit this one, I'll go to another one. It's so easy. We've been doing this thing for 10 years. It works so stupidly well. It's nuts. I'll do another one. Let's see. Who should we pick on? Stuart? Where's Stuart? You know what? I'll just go to my public figure page. Oh, by the way, so you on Facebook, you've got a profile, right? Everyone's got a profile. Most people say, oh, did you see what I put on my page? Or what? Oh, look, they said my boost was just approved. That's the robot. They're doing robots on everything now. So, oops. Oh, someone's going live. That guy right there. Watching. All right. All right, I can close this out. All right, why can't I? I want to do this. Now I'm the old guy who doesn't get it. So you're a user, right? But you also have a public figure. You should create a public figure page. It is a page. So this means a user, but you can create a page, just like a business page. But for you as a public figure, you don't have to be a celebrity or an author or someone famous or a movie, whatever, right? And so when you create one of the things, this looks like another user as far as Facebook's concerned, except you have the ability to boost, meaning to run ads and get detailed analytics, especially with video, especially as it distributes to Instagram, especially with all the messenger integrations, right? So when you create one of these things here, and then you want to boost it to a certain audience, that's when you start to incept. And we have taught tons and tons of kids how to do this. For example, here's an article that I wrote on Infusionsoft blog. Infusionsoft is a tool for small business. It's probably the #1 small business marketing automation tool. 50,000 small businesses use this to do email and websites and contracts, right? And here's this article, how much do Facebook ads cost? And a budgeting guide for small businesses, and here this is, right? And it goes on and on. I wish the resolution was better. Oh, there's Logan. He runs our training. This is over at Facebook. We were in South Africa a couple months ago. But here's the whole article about how to do this, right? What we've learned from Facebook. We have weekly calls from Facebook. We talk to Google all the time. We play them against each other, right? Which is great because they always give us more resources. But when you have an article like this, and then you boost it, then you're able to drive Inception. In this case, we wrote an article for Infusionsoft for their customers on how you can use Facebook more effectively. And we took this, and then who did we boost it to? All the Infusionsoft customers, right? So now we have Inception. Because if you're an Infusionsoft customer, and on their blog it says, this is the way you should do Facebook ads, you're not going to want to disagree with that. Let's say that you're an NBA team, and you want to do some stuff, you want to make some more money on Facebook, right? Maybe you're the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves do not have their act together. And you come in here and you can see, I know I'm talking. You can see, like, here's a case study on Facebook's blog on how the Warriors are making all this money. And it says that, lo and behold, the Metrics did this. And when you click on that, you get all the documentation on what's the process that's behind that, right? Because you have the proof. Facebook ads for the Golden State Warriors, here it is. It's Google Doc. It literally lays it out step by step. This is the closest that we can come to a DevOps, right?
And it says, here's how you do the creatives, here's how you load up the ads, here's how you report, here's how you set up the campaigns, here's how you do the tags, here's how you optimize, here's the kind of photos and videos that you use, here's all this stuff, and here's actually all the data that's associated with it. And then maybe you go to the American Marketing Association, maybe you're in marketing, you see that as being authoritative, and lo and behold, you can see the Golden State Warriors made $40 million last year using digital marketing, and here's how they track it, and here are all the different stats, here's how big the audiences are. It's like, and anyone who's a competitor of us, they'd say, oh wow, this is great, we can try to copy it. But then when they go to the checklist, and they see what has to happen, step by step, they say, oh damn, this is actually kind of complicated. Man. So your best offense is actually to publish what you know. If you've got knowledge about something, publish what you know. Make it widely known. And social media is a great way to do that. Because you can see here, we're publishing this. This is on for the American Marketing Association. What do? We take this particular post, and then we share that with the people who are members of the American Marketing Association. We share it in our email newsletter. We share it targeting people on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Twitter, right? And then you have Inception. Now, we know that humans are what matter here, so this guy here, Hal Connick, he works for the American Marketing Association. He's a staff writer, and like any kind of human, he's got to crank out stuff according to a deadline. So what happens when he publishes an article like this? We say thank you to him. Just like Miriam, who is in purchasing American Airlines, right? Because everyone, in my opinion, is a Miriam. Can you find the Miriams that are in your life to be able to say thank you? So when he puts this article out, what do? We send him a gift on Amazon Prime. Who uses Amazon Prime? Isn't that amazing, right? I remember I was on a plane coming back from Europe to the US, and I was sitting in coach. Unless they pay for it, I'm cheap, I fly coach, right? And I was in the back and walking around, because you know, it's like an 8-hour flight, depending where you're going. And I was in the back, you know, doing some like exercises to try to like, you know, get my circulation going. This is what we did on the plane. We were in Singapore 2 months ago. Hell yeah, we were in the back. We were going like this. I'm sure the flight attendants were like, well, yeah, these guys doing, you know. So I was in the back by the bathroom, and I was boasting to some other random passenger on the plane saying, yeah, Amazon Prime is ridiculous, because what happened is I loaded my address book of all of our friends and all of the clients and all the partners and all the media people, and I'll spend $50,000 saying thank you. I'm also making a series of gifts that are $10 gifts. You can buy things on Amazon Prime, free shipping, $5 total price, to say thank you, and include a gift message. And all you do, it takes you 30 seconds, right? And then maybe you have key employees, and we'll buy them laptops, we'll buy them cars, we'll buy them these kinds of things. And I was telling this guy on the plane, hey, Amazon Prime is great because they lose so much money on shipping. In fact, just to like screw over Amazon, I'll order like a 12-pack of Coke or something like that, and I know the shipping on that thing's got to be ridiculous, but I get the shipping for free, right? So Amazon, I'm just totally abusing Amazon. And the guy was just looking at me like, You know, I run customer care at Amazon in Ireland, and you're exactly the kind of customer that we want. Because how many times have you told other people about that? What do you think the ROI is on you giving speeches, telling all these people across the world how you love Amazon Prime? So what do you think is better? Free shipping, you know, how much you lose on shipping, versus you basically being a commercial for Amazon over and over and over, like I am right now, right? No, I'm like, wow, they got me incentive. I thought opposite sides, like, you got me. Touche, right? So how can you say thank you? How can you play the game? Because it's not a technology. It's not a technology game. It's a game of Inception where you're playing chess on the kind of politics that occurred. Now this happened just this morning. Well, actually, this article is a bit earlier. The Warrior Forum is the largest, oldest internet marketing forum. I think they have 12 million members. And here it is on the podcast. How do you do Facebook ads? This is the guy who's in charge of partnerships interviewing me, right? On and on. And no, that's not the one I was looking at. Oh, there's Logan Young. There's our guy. Oh, I lost the one I want. I think I must have closed the one I want. Anyway, actually, no, I'll go there. Marcus Wong. Works at Warrior Forum. Let me just show you how Inception works. All right. Here it is. 8 hours ago, this morning. Hey fam, I'm both proud and excited to share with you a massive project I've been working on over the last couple months. I'm even more proud to say I've been here at Warrior Forum, blah, blah, blah. To celebrate, I've teamed up with some of the best internet marketers to launch the official Warrior Forum podcast. And in the first episode, I dived into Facebook ads with the master, the capital undisputed king of ads himself, one of my closest friends, Dennis, he's from Metrics, and he's really smart, all this stuff, because he's Asian. All Asians are good at that. You gotta work every angle, you know, whether you're actually good at math or not, like you can play it, right? I do have a perfect score. I have a perfect math on the SAT. I have a 1580 SAT. I missed 2 questions on verbal. My verbal's decent. My first language, I didn't learn English until I was 7, so take that. We were in China 2 months ago, and I was ordering in Chinese. They give you better service, by the way. They think you're local, right? It's funny, because you go to the Great Wall. You've been to the Great Wall? So there's, in Beijing, you'll see there's 2 entrances. One is like the big grand entrance where all the tour buses are there, and all the foreign tourists are there, and they're in line, and it's $10 to get in. And then way on the other side, there's this tiny little entrance, and that's where the locals get in, it's like 20 cents. So I'll go over in that line, and I will buy tickets over there. And then in line, other Chinese tourists, the other locals would ask me questions in Chinese, and I don't want to reveal that I'm actually an American. I was born in Dayton, Ohio. But you got, you know, if you can Incept it, if you have a perceived advantage, it could be a legitimate or a perceived advantage, you got to use it. So here it is, he's sharing this, and it's already gotten 25 likes or what have you, and I'm going to share it, and I'm not just going to share it as a user. Here, right, if I share it as a user sharing a timeline, I can share on a page I manage, and then I can share on Warrior's page. They'd fire me if you did that. But here, I can share as Splits Metrics, which is our company, and I don't know, that doesn't make any sense. Or I can share it as me, as a public figure page. So now I'm sharing as Dennis Yu, the public figure, right? Not a user profile, saying, I am so honored to be the first on the Warrior Forum podcast. Thank you so much. Then I can do a little smiley or whatever. I can post that. Now it's a post on the page. It's shared on my page, not a profile, and now I can boost it. So here it is. And then I can boost it to all the people who are fans of Warrior Forum, all the people who like the IIBA. So let's go ahead and I'll just show you this one thing. How are you doing on time?
Doing great. You got 25 minutes.
Oh, you guys have to tolerate me for 25 minutes? Okay.
Excuse me, 20 minutes.
Okay. 15. Better. Yeah, keep going on my head. So I can create an audience of the people who work IIBA, International Institute of Business Analysts. I wish the resolution was better. It would tell me how many people I have, right? I have 231, or 231, that's not it. And see, I can target, like, what's something that you want to target? If you could Incept, you had a magic wand, you could like matrix people to whatever you wanted. Who would you target? Your mom? You know, maybe work at Verizon, you target all the people who work there, or, you know, General Mills. You ever hear the joke? Who's Captain Crunch's boss? General Mills? Have you heard that? Okay, that's my only Minnesota joke, so, hey, for sure you betcha. So I could say, General Mills. Now there's people that like General Mills, but there's people that work at General Mills. I don't know if you can see that, that's the second one there. Think about any message you have, that's only half of it. You've got to get the distribution. So Inception is, there's a message I want. There's something I want people to learn. I want them to understand. I need to get that message out, and I want to be able to send it to, I can target Stuart Benton, because I can add his email address in the system and target just him. You guys know that, right? No? I'm doing this a long time. This is a surprise for people, right? And how much does it cost you? $1 a day is the maximum. It will cost you about 2 cents if you want to micro-target down to one person. So you make a list of people, go shopping, it's like being on discount all the time, right? So when you have this kind of Inception, what can you do? Let me show you a few examples. So remember I talked about mentorship and how important it is to learn. Look, I was what's called a paper tiger. Have you ever heard of that? Those Asian kids that basically screw you over because they're really good at math and they run the curve for everybody else, right? I was one of those Asians, right? I enjoyed doing that. I was really sick of enjoying that because I actually went to math contests. I competed. And you ever been to the math club? Was anyone willing to admit they were members of the math club? I traveled
I was 5th in the nation in math counts. So I actually traveled around and we had math contests. And after the math contest, we would have a math party. You know what happens at a math party? You do math for fun. I don't know why I told you that. So here's, on the left, is our Vice President of Strategy, Logan Young. And in the middle, you probably know who that guy is. He is the richest man in the world right now, under 40. And my other friends were the richest, the 2 richest guys in the world under 40 until this guy happened. And I think we have that. Yeah, this is me back at Yahoo back in like 2000, just when we were getting going. It was just a few hundred of us as engineers. I was an engineer at Yahoo. And you can see there's David Philo and there's Jerry Yang, and those were the 2 guys that founded Yahoo. And what was neat is that I knew them as friends because we would play Frisbee every Tuesday and Thursday at Baylands Park at 5 o'clock. We would all drive, it was about 1.2 miles, sometimes jog there to get the extra exercise, and we would play Frisbee. And David Philo and I, the guy in black, he and I were the fastest ones in the team. So if we together were on the same team, he would run all the way down to the end zone, and I would just huck that Frisbee all the way down to the end because I could throw it 100 yards. I'd still have a strong arm, I could throw it 8 yards down. And he would catch at the end. We would just score over and over and over again. And the 2 people that would try to stop us, who were the best on the other side, were Brian Acton, who was my equivalent because he could handle, which means you could be able to throw, and all the different tricks there. And then Jan Kuhn, who was tall, and he'd go to the end zone and he'd be able to catch it because he was really tall. Those 2 are the founders of WhatsApp. And they sold to Facebook for $15 billion, right? It's kind of funny because those 2 made $15 billion. These 2 were the richest people until Zuckerberg, richest people in the world under 40, and then there's me. You know how many people, I wore purple because I was so loyal to Yahoo. I was one of those loyal employees. I actually stayed 5 years there. I could have gone to Google, but by the time I left, I made only $3 million when I sold my stock. I was on the insider trading list. I couldn't sell because I was an executive and I had a view to the financials, but I had all the data so I could see what was going on. But that caused me to think, no one's really sorry for me. Are you sorry for me that I made $3 million? The government took 45% of that. It's not even fair. They had nothing to do with it. They should take all my money. By the time all was done, I didn't have very much left. And all these other people made so much money. If I went to Google, I would have made $150 or $200 million. I'd still be here, by the way. I still want to be hanging out with you guys. This is what I want to do. This is how sick I am. But when you have, when you have people of influence or perceived influence, and you learn from them as mentors, and you actually get to spend time with them, then certain things happen. So this is Mark Zuckerberg, and he came up to Logan and wanted to take a picture, right? Because he knows about the program that we have for young adults, where we teach them on our dime, and we pay them, and we put them inside companies, and they get this kind of experience. 19 months ago, Logan was delivering Pizza Hut. He had no laptop, he had no money, he was living in dormitories for $400 a month, and he was just graduating BYU. We have a lot of LES folks in our program. I'm not a Mormon. We have a lot of, we don't judge, we open to everybody, whatever it is that you believe. And these kinds of things we amplify. These kinds of things, we take these stories, and when they get mentored, then in order for them to ascend, they have to mentor other people. And that's what you have to do. Most of us here, we are senior in our career, and we want to be able to pass that on to other folks. Who are the other people, the other BAs? The other folks in your community that you can pull under your wing and you can mentor? Because there's this lost art. Ooh, I thought it was like farting. There's this, it's that early in the morning. It's still like 4 a.m. Pacific time, and I'm not a morning person. So we have a 9-level system, and for example, if you're level 3, you can mentor level 1. If you're a 4, you can mentor 2 or 1. If you're a 5, you can mentor 2 or below. And our entire system is self-sustaining because all the people that go through our system, in order for them to ascend, they have to be able to help other people. So it's not like we're competing for the one promotion and no one can get it because once you get it, then no one else can, and so dog eat dog zero-sum game, that kind of thing, right? So how might you use the influence and knowledge that you have to be able to create programs to accept other people, to get your way through on your plate, to help out? Maybe you've got a daughter who just graduated and she's moved back in over this after, because that's, 90% of college kids, when they graduate, they move back in with their parents, right? Did you know that? Most people aren't really surprised that the numbers that high. It is. Go look it up. Google it. It's Google. But when you have these kinds of things, when you have articles that you want to share, this is our buffer queue. Like here's that Russian article one, been going for a few days, 200 shares. Once this thing really gets going, it's going to be up to 4,000, 5,000 shares. Here's that one, Al Casey, right? When he was CEO of American Airlines, here's what I learned from him, right? And it's a legitimate article. So we're sharing all these different, I don't know if you use social media tools, we use like Twitter or Instagram. We use all of these as distribution channels, right? Because we want to be able to, we want to take what we know, we want to systematize it, and then we want to share that with all the other people in our community. That helps us from a career standpoint. That helps our client. That helps the other people on our team. And then we have a symbiotic ecosystem, right? How might we do that? How do we use Facebook to our advantage? See, right now, I've got 33, I got a blue check mark too on Facebook and Twitter. If you want to know how to get a blue check mark, people ask me all the time, don't ask. Right? There's no salvation with Facebook expert. Oh, it's an article, I'll go on that. I'll click like on that. Oh, someone shared this one again, I'll click like on that. How to target Facebook ads. Oh, there's me and Joe Klum. Click like on that. All these people that click like on this. Oh wow, a lot of people like that one. Oh, there's Logan with the guy who runs global content marketing at LinkedIn in Europe. So we're hanging out with LinkedIn. Guess what? We got a course coming out on how to do LinkedIn marketing, featuring LinkedIn. Got a bunch of videos made with LinkedIn. Oh, you know what? The guy who's in charge of that, I wish his resolution would be better. Oh, I can't do it on the URL. So if I do a search, I'll close this out, for Jason Miller. Jason Miller's the guy. He's got a profile, but he's got a public figure page as well. This is how we accept, right? He's a published author. No, it's not that Jason Miller, it's another one. Here's the one I want, right? We are in control of his Facebook page. Jason Miller, this is the guy, right? He's the guy who goes on keynotes all day long for LinkedIn. LinkedIn sends him as their guy, right? Him and Jeff Weiner. Jeff Weiner was my boss at Yahoo for a little while. He's got a Kickstarter, right? So we've got all these different videos that we've made together with Jason Miller, sharing our expertise, interviewing him with us as the media. So then we take this and we'll say, hey, Jason Miller, what are the 5 keys to content marketing success? And he says, this, and this. We take that, we put it in his video, we share it on his public figure page, we promote it on LinkedIn. Obviously, he works at LinkedIn. And then, I'll show you this. If you do a Google search on my name and his name, let's see, make your business better with, oh, this is him interviewing me and Logan on the LinkedIn podcast. If you're into LinkedIn, like you probably listen to their marketing podcast, right? It goes on and on and on and on. But we turn around and we do that for him. We interview him. Jason Miller's Marketo, actually he was at Marketo before he went over on, how to do B2B marketing. So here's that article. If the URL pulls up, right? You'll see here's the article, and I put it on Adweek because I'm an author on Adweek. And then what do we do? When this article comes out, we take it and we boost it to all the other people who work at the Wall Street Journal, who work at CNN, who work at whatever other places you want to accept. Has this opened your mind to think about who might you be able to accept? It's like evil power. Think about like super evil power. What kind of fear, right? And it works like, oh, this doesn't work for me, because people say, I can't do that. I'm really too humble. I'm not one of those motivational speaker type of people. Well, so we did this for Logan just to prove that you could make anyone a viral sensation. So this is him. You gotta wait for 30 seconds of commercials. At his apartment in Utah, he had a doorbell video camera, and so this pit bull came in while he was on his way to church. He opened the door, came in and attacked him. Bit his hand, he went into a seizure. That dog then bit his other dog, nearly killed it. But it happened to be caught on doorbell video cam. We took that video, and then we both posted it on his public figure page, and we boosted it to the people that work in Utah media, at KSL, at Deseret Digital, and all this. Here it is. Well, you can't hear this, but actually you can. Here.
The beginning of the frightening scene, of course, captured on doorbell video. Central Utah Specialist Sam Penrod is live where it all went down in Orem tonight. Sam?
Yeah.
David Deaney, it all happened very fast here at this apartment complex yesterday morning. A man went to the hospital. hospital with a serious bite to his hand. His dog had to go to the vet, and the dog that attacked is in the shelter tonight and may be put down.
Was just leaving to go to church.
But Logan Young wasn't ready for what happened as he left his apartment yesterday morning.
Opened the door. Dog's right there. I tried to stop it, but it's me. Both in the living room.
Video shows the boxer get away from a boy who can be seen chasing his dog with a leash. You can hear the commotion inside.
I mean, it's the most unexpected thing you can think of. Just open the door.
See? That's how Inception works. So we took that, and then so it's a series of things where we put the initial doorbell, raw camera, police brutality style footage. The media picked up on that, and that was the top story on the evening news. Then we took this URL and we posted it, because now we have higher authority. We're sharing the KSL article, right? Not our original one, 10 minutes. We're sharing it, perfect time. And we targeted all the people who are hardcore pit bull loving fans, pit bull club of whatever, pit bull lovers, pit bull whatever. And then so we had both sides. And so we had a 71% engagement rate on that particular video. It means 71% of all people had to stop and watch, and comment, and like, and share, and argue with one another. And that became a viral video. Okay? So, with social media, the things that you're not supposed to talk about, like religion and politics, those are the things you absolutely should be talking about. Those are the ones you just take off and move on. I'll show you another example, right? This is just, now we didn't stage the dog attack. This thing actually happened. So don't think like, this is fake, or there's none of that. So, let me show you a couple things, and we'll wrap it up. So our friend Isaac Irvine, he runs all the personal branding at GoDaddy. You guys know GoDaddy? Okay. So GoDaddy has had an issue with their personal brand because of Bob Parsons and shooting elephants and Danica Patrick and Bruce and NASCAR and this, okay? So they've been working to change that image, even though Bob left almost 5 years ago. They have a new CEO, that it's a totally different company. So this guy, his job is to change that perception, which that's a big job, right? And so he created a public figure page, and he started to create 1-minute videos sharing what he believed in, sharing, what he as a person, because he loves his family. He's got tattoos. He was a bouncer. He was, he has beard oil. He does that on the side. That's his small business. GoDaddy encourages everyone to have small businesses. And one time his son got bullied. One of his sons, Bodie, got bullied. Have you seen this video? Has anyone seen this video? Yeah, mostly moms. 100 million people have seen this video. He literally shot this in the bathroom, all like dirty. He just worked out, put the camera propped up by a couple pieces of soap on his phone, no professional lighting, no professional anything, no rehearsal. And he's asking his kids, so what happened? And Bodie says, well, I was in school and these kids made fun of me because I have long hair and I'm growing it out because I'm going to donate my locks for whatever it's called for cancer kids, right? But you lose the hair, right? And then this got picked up by Ellen. He got picked up by Mike, by Guy Takei, by all these other places. Evening News, right? Here's one of them, a BuzzFeed, right? Here's one. This has gotten 30 million views and 421,000 shares. This one instance of several dozen instances. Then he started to get this stuff picked up with other media, like Chinese media would pick up on it, and then they translated subtitles in Chinese, right? And what's cool is that do you know how this happened? This wasn't by accident. Because when this thing happened, and we initially boosted it for $1 a day for 7 days, so we spent $7 total, we saw the engagement rate was so high that we wanted to stack other media targets on top of it. So then we stacked and targeted all the people that work at Yahoo, that work at CBS, that work at Wall Street Journal, that work at BuzzFeed, that work at all the other media publications, and they got coverage. Because once BuzzFeed sees that this thing's already up at 15 or 20 million views, they can't ignore it. They're going to create their BuzzFeed version of this, right? I'm not saying you have to create a viral video that is going to reach 100 million people. And I'm not saying every time you do this, you're going to get 100 million views. And the success rate on one of these kinds of hits is about 1 in every 100. You got to make 100 posts. Unless you're really good, you're like the Warriors, maybe 1 in every 20. But usually it's about 1% of these things become a unicorn where these things absolutely hit. But think about how that might work on a lower level. Maybe you just want to Incept the vice president you're doing the project for and get him to leave. Like, that's way easier than trying to convince a whole nation that Hillary Clinton is crooked. Or maybe not, maybe that's easy to do, I don't know, right? But think about how influence and social media and Inception and saying thank you and playing chess multiple steps ahead and having a personal brand and being there across LinkedIn and Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and all these different channels, and having other people that are part of your process because you train, because you mentor, because you systematically teach the things that you know, because you are not only teaching people one-on-one, but you have a system that you document that other people can follow. What does that look like? What does that mean in terms of personal development, right? We're all here to improve ourselves, to learn more, to advance our career. What's that mean? How do we do that, right? So my challenge to you is adopt somebody, but not physical adoption. You know, find another Elliot. Find someone else that you can take under your wing, like Al Casey did for me. Who might that be? Because that's how you're going to advance your career. You know, mentorship isn't a one-way street. Mentorship is, I'm not flirting. And if you're on a plane, by the way, and you're in the middle seat, don't, you know, pretend like it wasn't you. Like, look at them. They give them a dirty look. How can you do that? We like to adopt young adults because we see all these kids who come out of college, they have a degree, they think that degree you can trade at the window for a job. It doesn't work like that. We all know it doesn't work like that. Back in my day, it doesn't work like that, right? So that's what we want to share. My name is Dennis Siegel. I'm the CTO of Blitz Metrics. Thank you very much for having me.